Welcome back to the Daily Sip at 3:30. Have you ever heard of a ship's sponsor, like a ship in the Navy? Well, I hadn't, until a good friend of mine became one. Audie Dodson lives in Flowood, and she is the sponsor of the Coast Guard Fast Response Cutter, the Isaac Mayo. It's named after her great-great-great-grandfather. And being a ship sponsor is an honorary title, and most sponsors leave it at that, but Audie is an all-hands-on-deck type person. There's a hallway in Audie Dodson's house where she has all sorts of framed documents and photographs pertaining to the Coast Guard vessel named for her ancestor.
I call him 3G.
Okay.
Great-great-great-grandfather.
Isaac Mayo participated in a couple of daring sea rescues back in the 1800s in which several people were saved during nor'easters in Massachusetts. So when they started commissioning this class ship, they were looking for Coast Guard heroes to name them after. The story of Isaac came up, and the powers that be decided he was the perfect representative of the Coast Guard hero they were looking for. Just one little detail. He was never in the Coast Guard.
Well, there was no Coast Guard yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, now Isaac Mayo is in the Coast Guard as namesake of this fast response cutter. And his 3G great-granddaughter is on active duty after accepting the invitation to become the ship's sponsor.
It's a real honor and privilege. I go to Key West, go every 2 years when they have a change of command because I'm part of that program, the ceremony. But I go down once, twice a year and host them in an event, or we go out on do things, and I give them Christmas presents. Every year I give them Christmas presents, the whole crew, and it's just, I am so impressed with these young people. You know, a lot of people say, I think the kids nowadays, or what. These people are so squared away, and it's really inspired me to see these young people. And they range from, some of them less than 20 years old, 19 or whatever. Now, some of the older officers could be 25, 30, 35, you know, whatever. But once I read about what a sponsor does, the job is to pray, and so it's just moved me. I don't know how to explain it. And then when I go there, my husband says, you like going there because they have all these wonderful, cute guys, and they all say, yes, ma'am, and do whatever you want. And I said, exactly. And I'm inspired. It just really makes, you know, the old saying, makes me be a better person. Well, it gives me another thing. So that's just one ship. And I'm sure, you know, these young people are all out there serving us. And I know what it is for families when people serve, especially when my son was in Iraq and Afghanistan, and we didn't hear from him, you know, and things like that. I know what it means, and so each one of them have a family, you know, and they become a family. And you know, the thing that really hit me one time, I was down there and I was visiting with many of the crew, and how you doing, fine, you know. And I said, well, what do the other sponsors do? They say, I talk to them all the time. People don't even know who their sponsor is. And when I tell them, our sponsor comes down here, gives us Christmas, gives us some morale fund money, and puts on parties for us. They don't, and I'm thinking, that poor sponsor is missing out on something that's really great, because I think it's a win-win.
St. Francis of Assisi recognized that it's in giving that we receive, and the only people who don't know that are the ones who never tried it. Audie Dodson and their husband Monty give to the crew of the Coast Guard ship named for her great-great-great-grandfather all the time. And she's changed the title of ship sponsor from a noun to a very active verb.